Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coffee Online today. I'm here with Milena Melone. She's the director and consultancy and founder of the Ducks Expat Foundation. Hello, Milena, how are you?
Hello, how are you, Emma?
Really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, I'm fine.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us in the coffee. It's a
Oh,
pleasure
thank
to
you
have
for
you
the
here.
for inviting, Gemma. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, how is everything? Are you in the Netherlands, right?
Yes, yes, I'm in the Netherlands. I live near Utrecht.
Yeah, great. So are you enjoying the sun today?
Oh yes, lovely,
Yeah,
fantastic. I never saw it here in March. Fantastic.
yeah, it's amazing because usually we don't have this weather.
No, not really. No, especially in March. It's like wow, great. So it was like
Yes.
I mean, it was the whole day outside. It's really lovely weather.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so can you tell us a little about your background so then the people know who you are and why we are here?
Yeah, sure, sure. So,
Great.
well, right now what I'm doing now. I'm the co-founder of Dux Expat. That's a foundation that helps foreigners with the professional and personal development. We have like a platform, and we join. We have different experts and specialists join this platform, and we offer different courses on professional and personal development. And at the same time, we have like events that are focused on diversion, inclusion, diversity and inclusion. And basically, I did that because I live here in Netherlands for like 7 years, and I really missed this kind of thing. So I found another two fantastic women who live here, and we had this idea. It was on my mind for like 10 years or 20 years ago, and then we said, no, I think we should really do it together. Besides the foundation, being the co-founder of the foundation, I'm also the head of the department of training in a web marketing company in Canada. So I'm head of the training department there, and I also have my consultancy. So
Nice.
that's the three different things I do here.
Busy, busy.
BCBs, yes.
Yeah.
And on the top of that, I have three children who are lovely, of course, and I love a lot. And my husband, he's also Brazilian, and we live here for a while.
Nice. Right, really intense. And I see that you say that your association, you start thinking about it long time ago, but it's because you have lived in many countries, right? Can you tell us a little about it and about your experience?
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, so I already, well, I studied in Australia when I was in high school, so I spent a few months there. On this girls college. It was a great experience, especially for Brazilian. Like I mean, many years ago was really really something very very interesting. After that, I studied in Spain. I lived in Italy, and I studied in Italy. Like I did a specialization there. I also made a stage there. So it was like Italy had different experiences. I have
Mhm.
my family comes from Italy. My dad family comes from Italy, and my mom family from Germany. So I had a very good. I spoke Italian already, so it was really a fantastic experience in Italy. Then I lived in Belgium with my former boyfriend.
Mhm.
So I lived the one year, 1.5 year there. Then I went to Hong Kong. I worked
Wow.
in Hong Kong also as a project director for an events company there. And then I came to Holland because my husband actually he works for a Dutch company, and then he said, "Oh, an opportunity. I have an opportunity to go there." I said, "Well, why not?" And then I came here with my small baby, my first child. She was still 3 months.
Wow.
So it was a bit of work, really a lot of work. We came with a container. There was a container that was coming, so we had to stay in a provisory place. It was all a
Wow.
story. And then I'm here. So yeah, that's more or less what I did so far.
Wow, but I can understand why you create this association because you really know what it is to live in a foreign country.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I think I know.
And all the
I did.
differences in one from another. Wow.
Yeah, no, I did. And I think like the more you do it, like the more if even if you stay like say 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, you can really have a bit of the experience of like the people there, the culture.
Yes.
And I think the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah,
that's
you get used to different.
Sorry.
Yeah, you get used to different cultures and different people, and yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you have all the culture shock. So after a few, I mean, I already knew, okay, what I could expect, what I was what I could expect, and what potential problems and challenges that I would have, and that's how it happened.
Wow, it's a big round in all, almost every country. Well, not every country, but a lot of countries in Europe. Yeah, and can you tell us a little about your experience with team leadership?
Yeah, sure. So I managed the different teams. Some some for a few companies I worked in Brazil. I also managed people who I hired for my own consultancy, and I think yeah, it's a great experience to have. I think the first team I had was like 3 people or something like that. And I really love it. I said, wow, and I think it's a combination between, managing the company goals, managing the different personalities, the work habits, the motivations, and also balancing your own tasks. So it was really like, I think it was really dynamic, at least for me. That was it's a really nice experience. But I think at the same time, it's like if you have, for example, I had a team of like 10 or 12, and then I had a team of like 3. If you have a small team or if you have a big team, I think the challenge, the most challenging thing is really to balance the motivations, to balance the expectations, and to see each one of them as a single human being or someone that's extremely important for whatever they do. And I think that's really like it's something that I really love. I think it's like that's when I started managing teams. I said, wow, it's something I really love, like dealing with people and everything. And depending on the company, you also have to adapt to the company policy, and it's really like it can be super complicated depending on the. So, for example, in certain companies, there are really, really restricted policies. Some other companies just say, "Oh no, you can do whatever you want as long as you give me results." So it's so it's really like interesting also, because you really have to adapt. You have to really like be super flexible. You have to look at each one as a human being, and you really have to look at the diversity. Like. For example, in Brazil, we have a really diverse culture. We have people from different backgrounds, and São Paulo, for example, we have descendants from Japanese people, and it's really interesting when you work in Brazil with different teams, because you really have people from all of different backgrounds, and it was, I think it's like a fantastic thing to I don't even call like managing people, but I mean working with different people and trying to get their best, So that's but I think that's the what I consider management is more like trying to get the best each one has. And and it's really different when you actually hire from your consultancy and when you hire from someone else's companies.
Yes.
It's really a completely different thing to do. I mean, when you hire for you, you have to, of course, you have to look at the budget. You have to look, okay, is this person going well with the others? So, and for your company, I mean, you don't have this policy and this all these different rules. You have your own rules, so it's a completely different experience. But it's really nice. I mean, it's a fantastic, and I think this balance, like to get it right, it's something that's like how can you get it right? And I hear that from many like managers, directors, has teams like. That's also for them like balancing this all, company goals and motivations and personalities. It can be really tough. Tough.
And I think living in different countries also it's helping you with that, because then you have seen a
Yes.
lot of different profiles, a lot of personalities and customs.
Yes, sure. No, yeah. When you work outside, when you work in another culture, another country, it really helps. I mean, for example, when I worked in Hong Kong, I think Hong Kong was really the most, especially for me and Brazil. I come from Brazil, so
Big change.
Brazil, Hong Kong was really the most different culture I could work with. For example, if you go there in the morning, they are having like noodles for breakfast while they talk to you during the, the meeting. So I was there, like trying to talk to him, so he was speaking English, eating the noodles, talking in the meeting. And I was like, wow, okay, so what should I do? Okay, I'm going to buy noodles. I'm going to try to do the same. And I think that's more or less the secret. It's not like, at least for me, that was really, really useful also for teams and to work with different cultures. Is like, okay, I'm just going to join them, I'm not going to judge what they are doing. I'm just going to adapt to whatever they
That's
are doing,
good.
even if I don't really like news in the morning. But and at the same time is the communication also. So, for example, when I talked that Hong Kong was really the most different for me, so they talk Cantonese, and where they were speaking Cantonese, for example, in the office, I remember my first day there, I was like just hearing these people, and I said, "My God, they are killing each
Wow.
other. What are they doing there?" And I look at behind me, and they were just like laughing, about like some common situation. I was like, oh, good, nobody's killing nobody. So it was really like a very nice. While when I went to London, for example, it's like London I went more for a training, but the office environment there, they're much more like they are much more like polite, like serious. And they have like the rules are really, really respected and everything. So it's a completely different environment than Italy, for example. When I worked in Italy, I mean, people were just like having their croissants while they were eating, and they were like, and then also like the way, Mira, can you do that for me now, please? It's completely different than England. You have like the tasks that you have to do for the whole month. So the planning that you have also in Netherlands, people are like, they plan in advance really much more than people in Italy or also South America. And even for me, when I started I started a conference company in Brazil, and I remember that was really, really hard for me to explain to the CEO in England that she would get that people would just register for events like 1 week or 2 weeks before. And they said, no, we cannot expect that. It's impossible. I said, I'm saying that it will like the break even it would be like 2 weeks before. No, it's not possible. I said, no, listen to me. I'm saying that. And then it was very funny because it happened precisely what I said. And I said, wow, it's impressive. My God, how are you going to deal with this market? It's really, so it's like this kind of like a difference for me was really interesting. And also I think it's like this combination, like people and cultures and also the expectations. I think the expectations, managing people expectations. Wow. It's something that's like something you really have to set realistic expectations. And I think that's one of the most difficult things I see from different people. It's really about setting these expectations, the realistic expectations.
Yeah, I can feel you because from Spain and the Netherlands is exactly the same. Sometimes now I go to Spain and I try to plan with 3 months in advance, and people is like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 3 months. And it's like, okay, it's true. It's Spain. It's true. I have to come back and tell you 1 week before I go because otherwise it's impossible. Yeah. But sometimes because I'm used to plan here in the Netherlands that you need to plan in advance, then sometimes I forget it. I just try to do the same way in Spain and it doesn't work. It's impossible.
It's impossible indeed. Yeah. And for me, it's funny because I still work with Brazil. So it's very funny because, for example, someone says, Vidal, let's make a meeting Thursday. And I say, which Thursday? Which Thursday? And then it's like, oh, this, like, for example, today, Tuesday, well, Thursday. I said, oh, you mean after tomorrow? Yeah. Oh, no, after tomorrow is not possible because I have this, and that. So in some ways, I think, I after 7 years being here, I think I got a bit of the
for me,
of the planning.
I know this.
Not like 100%, but also for me, like sometimes it's impossible. Like Thursday, you have to plan a bit.
Yeah, I know the feeling because I also the same. I work with Spain and Portugal, and it's exactly the same. But it is fun to see outside, but then sometimes it's challenging. And what are the biggest challenges that you go through when you live and work outside of your home country? What are the big challenges that you can say?
I think you have first the cultural shock. Like I think that's something I got used to. Like when you arrive at the place, you have this honeymoon, everything's perfect. Oh, it's fantastic. I want to see this country. Oh, this country is beautiful. Oh my God, I'm in Holland now. I have these channels. They have this. Oh, it's so beautiful. Everything is lovely. And then after everything is lovely, and I love this thing. I'm staying here. This best country in the world. You start to have this phase where you start to think, oh my God, what I'm doing here? Oh, should I go back home? Where's my mother? Where's my dog? Where's my things? Oh my God.
The sun.
Oh yeah, what am I doing? My God. And that's like, you really like, it's a mix between anger and really like being anxious to oh my God, so should I stay here or not? And then after this, like you have this what I think they call it orientation. So that, okay, I think I think I should do this. I should go through this way. This is better for me to do, and everything. Analyze. Okay, these are the good ones. This is the worst side. So maybe where I'm heading to, and adapting. Like after this, then you adapt. And I think if you go through these 4 phases in a good way, and if you prepare yourself before, then things go much easier. Things are much easier. If you don't, then I know some people who just left before. Some people say that's like 1 year. I think like 6 months is already a good time for you to know if you are really going to stay there. For example, here in Holland, I know that they lose lots of expats because their wives, or because or also the man, they don't want to stay here. So, and then after 6 months, said, "Oh, sorry, I cannot stay here. I have to go back because my husband or my wife said that it's impossible to live here, whatever." And then they go back home. Yeah. So I think that's that the challenge is that. I think another challenge, like I said before, is this. Some really, like for me, some things that can be really really weird. But I'm just saying no, okay, that's another country. They have a completely different culture, and so let's try to go on the flow, no? And I think one other thing that I think, like when I think about these challenges, is like you always tend to look at your past and think that what you had before was better, So we have this idea that's always like, oh, I miss this or I miss that. And when you go to a foreign country, this is much stronger. Because you don't have your family or your childhood friends. So it can really be really tough, and to look at the moment you are living on and think, okay, that's the best that I can have. That's the best moment I can have. Usually you always tend to say, oh no, I miss that. If I was there, it would be much better. So I think this challenge is like, it's really like to look at the past and say, oh, that was nice, but now it's also very nice, and look at what you have, what is the best that you can have now. I think that's like the challenge, is actually to look at your present moment with the eyes of like a curious child, of some who says, okay, what's the best that I can do on this country now, on this place now.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, that's true. And now, what are your plans now at this moment? What are you doing now, and what are your plans for the future?
Well, now, as I said, I'm working for the Canadian company. I have my consultancy, and we now, as a co-founder for Dux. So our idea now is really like to expand. So we think that Dux Expat, we have some people in other countries who are already interested to actually to also make part of Dux. So we are really happy. And the idea now is to really make it grow and have different partners, and really like help foreigners who are starting with the Netherlands, who you mean they who doesn't know yet what's really their place, you know. Okay, so how I feel at home, outside home. So I think my plans now are focused on these three things, but especially with Dux Expat. It's a project from my heart, something that I really wanted to do.
Yes.
And I think what I'm doing now is like planning the for we have like a project for next year that I'm talking now
Yes.
already, with about a diversity event and diversity inclusion. So really focus on these areas and really try to make our best to help people outside their home country, to help people see the best that they have on the both professional and personal life. And with this, not the idea that we are going to do everything alone. So it's really that's the idea of the platform, that we have more foreigners who are actually helping foreigners. And also Dutch people also. I mean, local people, of course, they are always welcome. And we are having we're having people from like local people say, oh, can I do this? Do you have this program also for like in Dutch? So that's the reason we want to adapt not only in, we have lots of programs, for example, Portuguese, English, but our idea is really to expand and do that in different languages.
Yeah, that's really good. It's really
Yeah.
needed. I tell you because I
Yeah.
live here. I know how needed it is. Yeah. And what
You
advice
know,
would you
you
give?
know the situation.
Yeah. And to the people that want to start working in a foreign country, they want to move or they want to start a business in another country, what advice would you give them?
Well, I think plan before, I think plan before, especially the finance, because people usually say, oh, I'm going there and everything. And I mean, really like look into the finance before making some financial planning, understand what the bureaucratic steps are to start and legalize a business, outside. Know your differentials. I mean, what can you do different from other people and whatever you do. Uh, I think create collaborations together. So, for example, when you decided to create Lux, it was everything like when you do that with someone else, it's always easier,
True.
especially outside your home country. If when you do that alone outside your home country, it can be really tough because it's not your country. You're not, you have to know all the rules. You have to understand so many different things, aspects that you can get a bit lost. So, for example, with my consultancy, it was a bit easier. I could that because I work with different countries, not only the Netherlands, but the foundation. I mean, it's much better. It's much nicer to have people to do that with you. The ideas come
Yes.
easier, and you have like people who make the critics, people who say, no, we should do that. We should go into this direction. And yeah, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, for the
Uh,
motivation also.
Sorry.
The motivation also. You get
The
motivated
motivation,
when you have
exactly.
this.
Yeah, one motivate the other. It's really, really important. And I think like have confidence in your projects. I think this especially for women. What I see is that many women who want to open a project, there was a lot of some research on this, that when women they want to open something, like start a business. What I think the biggest challenge, the biggest obstacle is really about self-confidence. So
Yes,
I think
true.
I'm not going to be able. So, for example, even if you see, like in the Netherlands, I was reading about it's absurd. So, if you see the Netherlands, when women who are entrepreneurs, when they are starting their own business, it's like I think like 2% or 3% get funding, and the other 95%
Yes, man.
are men. So
Yes.
it's like absurd. That's ridiculous. And women they self fund. It's not that they don't start a business; they self fund their business.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
true.
like I was like, how the hell? So it's really like it's really absurd, how it can happen. I mean, we are in 2021, so how it happens? Like it's really hard to believe on this.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But that's the
Yeah.
way it is. So we're here to change it a little, at least. And
Sorry.
we have to start changing it
Yeah.
ourselves,
Yeah.
a little by
Yeah.
little.
A little. Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Yes.
mean. This is not even feminist. It's just like I think the whole world can gain much more. I
Yes.
mean, if you have like I mean, same rights or same rights. I think that's the word. Like that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then coming back to Dutch Spark Foundation, Why did you start it? Because you see the need. What do you tell us a little more about it? About the
Yeah, so
why?
well, was actually an idea that I had like 10, 15 years ago to do something with foreigners and to start a foundation and use my experience uh, to help people, in some sort of way, or doing like trainings or events and everything. And that was an idea that I had on my mind for a really long time. So when I was here in the Netherlands, I've met these two women, and they had precisely like a similar idea than mine. I said, "Oh, fantastic!"
Oh,
And why we had this idea? Because well, they're living here like 20, 25 years old, so they're much. They're a really longer time than I. And I think the challenges are really the same. If you're a foreigner in another country, you have to deal with so many different things, and many times you are not emotionally prepared. So
true.
many times you don't even know how you can develop professionally in this country. So what can you do there? What's different or not? And I think this combination of what can you do professionally, but with the combination on what you can do like with your emotions, what you can do with your with the rest, so you can have self-confidence to actually grow in this country, is the combination that said, well, really, people really need that, even to go
Yes.
out of their house, even to say, okay, to look for something. And so I said, no, that's really needed. And at the same time, we saw a gap. That's like, well, there's real diversity and inclusion events here and everything, but not really something special, not really something. And like I said, I work with this for like 20 years. So for me, it was like, no, it's really, there's a gap. There's really like the need to have like a better event focused on diversity and inclusion. There's really a need for that.
Yes.
So based on that, we started the foundation, and I mean it's going really well. We started to have a short time ago. We were planning for a while, but we really started a short time ago, and it's going very well. We have like really a lot of people like starting to get interested. Also now, well, we have Corona now to make things a bit more
Yes.
complicated.
True.
But again, another challenge that you can always deal with. So it's and yeah, so that's why we had this idea.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Wow, that's really nice. Really nice story, Mirella. And can you tell us like three tips for the people that want to start? The three main tips to start working in a foreign country.
Yeah, I think to start working in a foreign country, first is like training this first see the bureaucratic and the financial planning. I think this is like extremely important. uh, I think like be consistent, like you have to really to get into your plan and really go for it. Don't let challenge on the middle or the coach or any problems go on your way. And have self-confidence, you have to trust in yourself to do whatever you have to do in another country. In another country, the challenge is much bigger because you really have to deal with things you don't know.
True.
And I think that's for me that would be the three main tips, I guess.
Yeah, I think are really good ones. Yes, really important ones. So thank you very
Yeah.
much, Mirella. It was a pleasure
Oh,
to have
thank
you
you.
here.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And have
Thank
enjoyed the
you.
sun this week and see you
Oh,
soon.
yes, you too.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.